Good morning. It is Monday, June 25th at around 6:30 a.m. Looks like my drone deploy map processing just finished. So if you remember yesterday, we flew the drone and it took a bunch of pictures of our neighborhood. And what we did is we uploaded those pictures into drone deploy and it reassembled them into a 2D map. So if you see here, over here to the left is the Google Maps, and then you can see right in the center here where it looks a little bit different because we took these in the evening. It has now been replaced by My Maps, and so obviously My Maps are more up to date, they're more detailed, but the way the drone deploy presents these is directly in line with Google Maps, which is really cool. They also have another feature where if you switch to 3D model here, it should now actually render my entire neighborhood as a 3D model, which is one of the coolest features ever. So they used a second pass where they looked at the houses from it. As you've probably guessed, I absolutely love drones. I love the way that you can capture these really special moments in the sense of place that you can't do with any other type of camera. And so the two drones I use the most are now the Mavic Air and the Phantom 4. I want to compare these two drones and kind of look at the different ways that they benefit me and the ways that they cause problems. So first let's take a look at the cases. The Phantom 4 comes in this styrofoam case with a nice locking lid where all the drone parts fit directly inside. The Mavic Air does not come with a case like that, but if you buy the extra bundle, the Fly More bundle, then you get this case where you've got a side pouch and then you also have a top pouch that really nicely holds the controller and the drone itself in yet another case. Now, I love the Phantom 4 case because of the way that it fits everything. It's well laid out. Everything feels very sturdy, well thought through. But obviously this is a much bigger case. It's much harder to bring anywhere with you. If you contrast that with the Mavic Air's case, this top pouch feels perfectly designed in terms of the drone and the controller, but this side pouch doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it doesn't seem to fit everything, everything's kind of falling out, and nothing's really balanced very well. Overall, if we ignore the size differences between the two drones first, I think I do prefer the case of the Phantom 4. Even though it seems to be low quality, it doesn't look as nice, it's much more portable, it's much easier to use. Next up, I want to look at the assembly of these two drones. So if you take the Mavic Air, let's try and see how long it takes to get the Mavic Air set up. There we go. It's about 8 or 9 seconds and the Mavic Air is ready to go. Let's now contrast that with the setup time of the Phantom 4. And we are done. So that took about 18 seconds. So obviously the Phantom 4 takes longer to set up, but not really that much longer. And the weird thing is that this time is actually reversed when you consider setting up the controllers too. So to set up the Phantom 4 controller, we're gonna open it up. We're gonna pop this up a little bit. We're gonna pull down these little arms, put the phone in the slot, and we're gonna attach the USB-C cable. Slide this into the back. And then we will pop up the antenna, and we are all done. So this process is actually more complex for the Mavic Air. So we're gonna pop these down. We're gonna pull out each of the little controllers here. I have to now screw each of these in. Then we're gonna pull out the antenna, and then I've gotta stick my phone in this little USB cable slot. And we can slide it into the grips here. All right, and now we are ready to fly. So on the Phantom 4, we have a power brick that plugs into a wall outlet, and it's got an outlet for charging the battery and a outlet for charging your controller. If we take a look at the Mavic Air, we have almost the same setup where we've got a brick that plugs into the wall, but then the battery itself is charged by this nice little port. The weird thing is the controller for the Mavic Air is charged completely differently. If you try and take a look at how this charges, you actually have to unplug the controller itself And then you have to get a micro USB charger here, which they do provide in the box, but they do it in a little bit of a weird way. What they do is they give you a small little adapter that you have to find in your case, wherever that might be. And then you have to plug it into a USB-C port on the device. So I actually have to go and find this little dongle and then plug that into another separate cable, a USB-C cable here, and then plug that into the USB port. So it's much more complicated charging story on the Mavic Air. One of the nice things about the Mavic Air is that the cables look a little bit cleaner. The charger actually has a little plug that instructs you as to which direction to be plugging it in. So things are a little bit easier to use in the charger, but again, you need all these extra cables, you need these adapters, and if you don't know where those are, you're gonna be in trouble. The Phantom 4 charging set, it looks messier, it feels less organized, but overall it works better. So the only other thing I can say about the Mavic Air is that when you buy the Fly More expansion kit, it actually comes with a couple cool things. So you have a Mavic Air battery to power bank adapter, which is pretty cool. I don't think you can do that at all with the Phantom 4. And you also get this really interesting little brick here. And so what this is a triple charger or quadruple charger. So the original port comes in the bottom here, and then you can charge up to 4 batteries sequentially. So this is not charging them in parallel, they don't all charge at the same time. So it's not gonna be any faster, but you can leave 4 batteries into charge and it's gonna do them one by one by one by one. So I bought one of these for my Phantom 4 on Amazon. It was an aftermarket part and it didn't work at all. So the fact that they've included this kind of as a standard DJI part is very nice. So the last thing to compare is the drones themselves. Obviously the Phantom 4 has a much bigger sensor on the gimbal. While they're both 4K, you're going to get a better image quality out of the Phantom 4. The Mavic Air is lighter and easier to transport, but it doesn't fly as fast. It's not as good in high winds or in more rough conditions. So one of the problems with the Mavic Air is that the DJI SDK doesn't actually support it. So you can't use tools like Drone Deploy to actually fly a drone. I've also found that the Mavic Air, when compared to its brother, is far more likely to lose signal and actually lose control of the drone mid-flight, which is an absolutely unacceptable thing to happen during a drone flight. So I really love both of these drones, and they each have a place in my life as both a photographer and a videographer. But if I had to choose one, I would probably choose the Phantom 4. So I absolutely love the Mavic Air for its portability, for its ability to travel. I don't feel weird stuffing this in a suitcase, whereas I do feel a little bit weird stuffing the Phantom 4 in a suitcase. But what I've found is that a lot of the footage that I want to capture, it's of mountains, it's of wild natural places, and overall the better control, the better range, the better flight stability, the better power of the Phantom 4 generally ends up being worth it. So I'm going to continue exploring this as I get to know both these drones better over time as new drones come up from DJI, but I'm very glad I've got both of them because of my various needs. Thanks for watching. Good night.